The Vegas Golden Knights just handed the Toronto Maple Leafs the ultimate get-out-of-jail-free card, and if the suits at MLSE don't act on this immediately, we might as well pack up the Scotiabank Arena and call it a decade. Bruce Cassidy has been fired. Less than 10 games left in the regular season, Vegas does what Vegas always does. They operate with absolute, ruthless precision. They don't care about feelings. They don't care about loyalty. They care about winning. And right now, sitting 5 points ahead of us in the standings, they decided Cassidy wasn't the guy to lead them to another parade. But their trash is exactly the treasure this Original Six franchise desperately needs to salvage whatever is left of this catastrophic season. Let's not sugarcoat what happened yesterday. Brad Treliving is gone, and frankly, it was a move that was weeks, if not months, overdue. The front office finally woke up and realized that the passive, wait-and-see approach was driving this team straight into the ground. Treliving's asset management at the deadline was nothing short of a disaster. Holding on to pending unrestricted free agents like Bobby McMahon and Scott Lawton until the absolute last minute, only to flip them for subpar returns, is the exact opposite of how a championship-caliber front office operates. You cannot bleed value in a hard salary cap league and expect to survive. The Nicholas Roy trade was a band-aid on a bullet wound. Treliving failed to pivot when his initial bets went south, and he paid the price with his job. But firing the general manager is only half the surgery. The other half is standing right behind the bench, arms crossed, watching a system that fundamentally does not work with the roster constructed in front of him. Craig Berube is a Stanley Cup champion. I respect the man, but he is a square peg being violently hammered into a round hole here in Toronto. When Berube was brought in, the promise was accountability. The promise was a heavier, harder to play against hockey team, but what we got was a tactical mismatch of epic proportions. Berube wants a heavy forecheck, dump and chase hockey, and a strict man-to-man defensive coverage system. Look at this roster. Look at the core four. Do Auston Matthews and William Nylander look like guys who thrive when they are forced to dump the puck in and grind it out in the corners? No. They are elite, creative, possession-driven superstars who are currently suffocating under a system that treats the puck like a grenade. And defensively, the man-to-man coverage has been a nightmare. We simply do not have the foot speed on the blue line to chase guys all over the defensive zone. It pulls our defensemen out of position, opens up massive passing lanes in the slot, and leaves our goaltending completely out to dry. It is evident to anyone watching the blue and white right now that the players are either too slow to execute Berube's system, or they have completely tuned it out. Either way, the result is the same. We are on the outside looking in, staring down the barrel of another wasted year of Auston Matthews' prime. Enter Bruce Cassidy. If you are a fan of the Toronto Maple Leafs, the name Bruce Cassidy probably sends shivers down your spine. We have seen this movie before. We lived through the trauma of 2018 and 2019. Cassidy, standing behind the bench of the Boston Bruins, systematically dismantling Mike Babcock and Sheldon Keefe. He outcoached us. He outstructured us. He knew exactly how to neutralize our transition game while exploiting our defensive gaps. But that is exactly why he is the perfect fit for this team right now. Cassidy understands how to win with elite talent. He won the Stanley Cup with Vegas in 2023 by implementing a system that is tailor-made for the modern NHL, and more importantly, tailor-made for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Let's do a deep dive into the tactical shift Cassidy would bring to the Scotiabank Arena. Unlike Berube's archaic man-to-man scheme, Cassidy employs a highly structured zone defense. He prioritizes protecting the middle of the ice, keeping the high-danger chances to an absolute minimum, and allowing his defensemen to pass off coverage rather than getting dragged out of position. This instantly masks the foot speed deficiencies of our current defensive core. It simplifies the game in our own end. But the real magic happens in transition. Cassidy's teams, both in Boston and in Vegas, are built on puck possession. They don't just throw the puck away. They use quick, precise breakouts to hit the neutral zone with speed. Imagine William Nylander actually being allowed to carry the puck through the neutral zone with structured support, rather than being forced to chip it deep and chase it against a 230-pound defenseman. Imagine Auston Matthews getting the puck in high-danger areas off the rush, rather than having to grind out cycles on the wall. Cassidy's system empowers offensive creativity while demanding defensive responsibility through structure, not just brute force. This is the what-if scenario that should be keeping the MLSE board awake at night. What if we actually hire a coach whose philosophy aligns with our salary cap allocation? We have tens of millions of dollars tied up in elite offensive talent. You do not hire a mechanic who specializes in diesel trucks to tune up a Ferrari. You hire a guy who knows how to make the Ferrari run at top speed without blowing the engine. Cassidy is that guy. If Cassidy comes in, the ripple effects are massive. First, it immediately changes the narrative heading into the offseason. The new general manager, whoever that ends up being, will have a clear, defined blueprint of what type of depth players to target. We won't be chasing slow, heavy grinders just to satisfy a coach's outdated physical demands. We will be targeting high IQ, puck-moving depth pieces that fit a possession-based system. It completely alters our approach to the draft and free agency. Furthermore, it sends a shockwave through the locker room. Cassidy is notoriously demanding. He is direct. He will call players out, both privately and in the media. But unlike the current regime, his demands are rooted in a system that actually rewards the players with offensive opportunities. Players will buy into hard work if they see the results on the score sheet. Right now, they are working hard in Berube's system just to survive shifts. Under Cassidy, they would be working hard to dominate them. Let's take the temperature of the fan base right now, because the community pulse is absolutely flatlining. If you look at X, if you listen to the call-in shows, Leafs Nation is exhausted. We are tired of the half measures. We are tired of the MLSE treating this franchise like a corporate ATM rather than a hockey team desperate to end a Stanley Cup drought that has haunted us since 1967. The firing of Treliving was a step, but it feels reactive. It feels like damage control. When the Leafs pushed back against Vegas regarding the Mitch Marner contract tampering rumors, there was a brief, fleeting moment where it felt like this organization was finally growing a backbone. It felt like we were finally going to operate with the same cutthroat mentality as Vegas, Tampa Bay, or Boston. But it was a mirage. We reverted right back to the country club mentality. Hiring Bruce Cassidy today changes that. It is a statement of intent. It tells the implacable Toronto media, the fans, and the rest of the league that we are done accepting mediocrity. We are done wasting the prime years of the greatest goal scorer to ever wear the blue and white. We have to admit that the Craig Berube experiment is over. It failed. The culture in that locker room is fractured, and while Berube isn't the only one to blame, he is a massive part of the problem. You cannot fix a broken culture by keeping the architect of the current misery in the building. Vegas and Boston have elite, winning cultures. Why? Because they align their coaching, their management, and their roster construction perfectly. Cassidy fit their cultures because he demands excellence through structure. We need that structure in Toronto more than we need oxygen. The time for patience is over. The time for evaluating is over. Bruce Cassidy is sitting at home right now. The MLSE jet should already be on the tarmac. I want to hear from you on this one, because I know the fan base is split on how to handle the coaching situation. If MLSE brings in Bruce Cassidy tomorrow, does he have the power to fix the broken culture of the core four? Or are the players themselves fundamentally incapable of playing winning playoff hockey regardless of who is behind the bench? Drop your hottest take in the comments below. Let's get the debate going. If you want the real, unfiltered truth about the Toronto Maple Leafs every single day, make sure you hit that subscribe button and smash the like button on your way out. We are grinding through this mess together. Leafs Nation, I'll see you in the next one.